Have you ever felt that little ping of excitement when you use an AI tool? That feeling of, wow, I just did hours of work in seconds. It feels like a superpower, a secret shortcut that everyone else is missing. And for a lot of people, that's all AI will ever be, a way to do the same old things, just a little bit faster. But what if I told you that the highest performers in the world, the people at the absolute top of their game, see AI completely differently? For them, it's not a shortcut. It's a test of your curiosity, your creativity, and your ambition. Let's break this down. The common way to use AI is for substitution. You have a task, say, writing an email, and you ask the AI to do it for you. Task done. You saved 10 minutes. Great. This is the shortcut mentality. It's about offloading work you don't want to do. It's useful, no doubt, but it's also the lowest level of engagement with this incredible technology. It is like having a world-class orchestra at your command and asking them to just play Happy Birthday. High performers don't just substitute. They see AI as a partner, collaborator that can elevate their thinking to a whole new level. They're not asking, how can I do this task faster? They're asking, what new, impossible tasks can I now achieve with this tool? It's a fundamental shift in perspective. It's the difference between asking an AI to summarize a book and asking it to analyze the book's themes, compare them to a different author from a different century, and then generate 3 novel business ideas based on the synthesis of those concepts. See the difference? One is about completing a task. The other is about creating new knowledge, new possibilities. This is where the test comes in. The first part of the test is curiosity. Are you just accepting the first answer the AI gives you? Or are you pushing back? Are you questioning its assumptions? Are you feeding it more context, refining your prompts, and treating it like a brainstorming partner that you need to guide and challenge? The quality of your output is a direct reflection of the quality of your curiosity. If you're lazy with your questions, you'll get lazy answers. High performers are relentlessly curious. They poke and prod and experiment. They want to know where the limits are, and then they want to push past them. They don't just take the answer, they co-create it. Think of it like a master chef with a new revolutionary oven. The average cook might just use it to heat up a frozen pizza a little faster. But the master chef? She's going to test its limits. What happens if I use this specific heat distribution to create a crust that was previously impossible? How can I use its precise temperature control to invent a new cooking technique? She isn't just using the tool, she's in a dialogue with it. That's how top performers approach AI. They're not just users, they're explorers. The second part of the test is creativity. AI is incredibly good at generating ideas, connecting dots, and spitting out variations. But it has no taste, no intuition, no soul. It can give you 1,000 different logo designs, but it can't tell you which one will truly connect with your audience. It can write a dozen different melodies, but it doesn't know which one will give you goosebumps. That's your job. The test of creativity is whether you can take the raw, often generic, output of an AI and infuse it with your unique human perspective, your experience, and your artistic vision. The real magic happens when your creativity meets the AI's scale. A musician can ask an AI to generate 100 different chord progressions in a style they have never tried before. Most will be bland, but a few might spark a new idea, a new direction for a song they would have never discovered on their own. The AI isn't replacing the musician's creativity, it's expanding the canvas. It's giving them more colors to paint with. The creative test is, can you find the gems in the mountain of data? Can you curate, refine, and elevate what the machine gives you? Those who can will create things that are not just good, but truly groundbreaking. And finally, the third, and perhaps most important part of the test, is ambition. AI doesn't just make old tasks easier, it makes entirely new levels of ambition possible. The shortcut mentality keeps your goals the same size. The high performer mentality asks, now that I have this power, how much bigger can I dream? If you could automate 80% of your administrative work, what would you do with that reclaimed time? Would you just watch more Netflix? Or would you start that second business you've always dreamed of? Would you learn a new skill? Would you spend that time on deep, strategic thinking that actually moves the needle for your company? AI is a magnifying glass for your ambition. If your ambition is small, AI will help you do small things a little more efficiently. But if your ambition is huge, if you want to build an empire, solve a major world problem, or create a masterpiece, AI becomes a lever that can multiply your efforts 1,000-fold. The person who uses AI to launch one personalized marketing campaign is thinking small. The person who uses AI to build a system that generates 1,000,000 unique, hyper-personalized campaigns for every single customer, that person is thinking with ambition. They are passing the test. Let's look at some real-world examples. In the world of science, researchers are using AI not just to analyze data faster, but to predict protein structures, a task that used to take years and is now being done in minutes. This is accelerating drug discovery and our understanding of diseases at a pace we couldn't have imagined. They aren't just taking a shortcut. They're using AI to ask bigger, more complex questions about the very nature of life. That's the test of ambition and curiosity. In the creative industries, artists are using tools like Midjourney or DALL-E not to replace their art, but to rapidly prototype visual ideas, create mood boards in an instant, and explore stylistic combinations that would have taken days to paint by hand. This allows them to spend more time on the final, human-crafted piece, armed with a better vision. They are passing the test of creativity, using the AI as an ideation engine, not a final artist. So, how can you start thinking like a high performer? First, stop asking, "What can AI do for me?" and start asking, "What can I do with AI?" Reframe it from a servant to a partner. Second, whenever you use an AI tool, don't stop at the first answer. Always ask a follow-up. Can you give me that in a different tone? What are the counterarguments to this point? Generate 10 more variations of this idea. Constantly push. And third, do a dream audit. Write down your biggest, most audacious goals. Then, for each one, brainstorm how AI could not just help you achieve it, but how it could help you 10x the scale of that ambition. The rise of AI is not the great equalizer we might think it is. It's actually the great differentiator. It will widen the gap between those who see it as a simple tool for efficiency and those who see it as a partner for creation and ambition. It's a test that is happening right now in real time. And the question for all of us is, are we just looking for the shortcut, or are we ready to step up and pass the test? The choice you make will define your trajectory for the next decade. Thanks for watching. If this idea resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on how to thrive in the age of AI. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. How are you using AI beyond just taking shortcuts? Let's discuss. See you in the next one. The hidden pattern behind every person who actually performs at the highest level. What the highest performers in the world do differently is almost never what they say they do. The real pattern is quieter, older, and far more demanding. There is a specific behavior that surfaces in the biographical record of individuals who consistently operated at the absolute top of their fields, across completely different domains, separated by centuries and culture. It is not a morning routine. It is not a productivity system. It is not a particular mindset framework that can be downloaded and applied in a weekend. It is a practice of ruthless internal honesty before any external action. Before the great negotiators entered a room, they had already mapped every version of themselves that could show up under pressure. The version that panics when the other side pushes back. The version that concedes too quickly when silence becomes uncomfortable. The version that overestimates its own position because of ego rather than evidence. They knew those versions existed, and they had developed specific protocols to prevent them from taking control at the worst possible moment. Before the most effective military commanders issued orders, they had already interrogated their own assumptions with the level of rigor that most people reserve only for questioning others. Is this information accurate, or is it what I want to believe? Is this decision driven by strategy or by the need to appear decisive? Is this plan built for the actual conditions or for the ideal conditions I wish existed? That internal interrogation is the foundation of high performance. Not motivation, not willpower, not enthusiasm. Artificial intelligence, when placed in the hands of someone who has built this foundation, becomes almost terrifyingly effective. Because the questions that person brings to the tool are the right questions. The context they provide is accurate. The goals they are pursuing are clear and genuinely understood. And the outputs, as a result, are not just impressive. They are directionally correct. This is why two people can sit down with identical AI tools and produce results that are not just different in quality, but different in kind. One is generating output. The other is building something real. The difference was never in the tool. It was never going to be. What AI actually reveals about you when you stop pretending you have it together. The most dangerous thing about artificial intelligence is not what it might do to the world. It is what it already reveals about you. There is a particular kind of discomfort that high performers describe when they first begin using AI tools seriously. Not the discomfort of difficulty, the discomfort of exposure. Because when you sit down with a system that responds with perfect neutrality to exactly what you bring, there is nowhere left to hide from the quality of your own thinking. If your thinking is scattered, the output is scattered. If your goals are vague, the results are vague. If your mental model of the problem is superficial, the solution you receive will be superficial in ways you might not even recognize, because your own framework is not deep enough to identify the gap. This is not a criticism of the tool. It is a description of the mirror. Throughout history, the moments of greatest technological leap have always served the same function. They do not change what humans are fundamentally capable of. They reveal it with increasing clarity. The invention of writing did not make people more intelligent. It made the structure of their thinking visible and comparable in ways that were previously impossible. The same pattern holds for every major cognitive tool since. AI is the most precise mirror humanity has ever built. And the reaction most people have when they first look into it honestly is not excitement. It is the quiet, slightly uncomfortable recognition that the internal work they thought they had done is less complete than they believed. That recognition, if you let it land instead of deflecting it, is one of the most valuable things that can happen to someone who is serious about operating at a high level, because the gap that AI reveals is also a map. It shows you exactly where the internal work still needs to happen. Exactly where clarity is still pretending to be certainty. Exactly where discipline has been replaced by the appearance of discipline. And that map, if you are willing to read it honestly, points toward a version of performance that no tool alone could ever give you. If this video opened something you had not fully seen before, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. The next content goes further into these patterns. Leave a comment telling us which part hit you hardest. That conversation is what makes this channel worth building.